Hi, welcome to Professor Kev Show. You can see I have my friend Taihei with us from Arcangel. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So I'll just do a quick intro about myself. My name is Taihei. I'm currently a sophomore at Babson College. And kind of the way that I got where I am now is I have always been interested in just like making things. I was homeschooled until third grade. I went to a lot of museums. I was just like curious, interested in learning things all the time. And I think my first like foray into like creating things and entrepreneurship kind of was in elementary school when me and my friend group, we created a lot of different hand games that we would play during class. There was a time it was called Guns, so it was slightly violent in terms of what it looked like, but and that kind of caused it to get banned by some of our teachers at the time. And so we were like, okay, what if we pivot a little? We make it a little different, and we called it science instead. So instead of uh, fighting each other by shooting guns at each other, we were doing lab explosions, which is less violent, less bad. And so we just continuously expanded that game. I've always been into game design. I like made board games, card games on my own, and I started selling in-game cosmetics for this game. And like convinced a bunch of my friends to actually buy the in-game cosmetics. And the cosmetics are literally just like different hand signals that you could do in the game. And so it was just a fun thing that I did. I also sold a lot of origami in elementary school. I would sell like paper chessboards and like origami instruction books that I would make. And that's kind of how I spent a lot of my elementary school. And then middle school, I started doing water polo. That was a lot of fun, but I really hated swimming. Made a lot of friends, started doing a lot more art and a little bit more of like game development in terms of like card games. I started working on this card game with my best friend. I think I've now been working on it for a total of 8 years. Um, it's a fun game. It was basically just born out of our dissatisfactions with the current card games that we were playing, and so we had a lot of fun making this entire world. I think now we have over 900 unique cards. So every time we see each
Well,
other, we'll play together. Quite the project, and I've made an online version of it as well, so we still get to play even when we're apart. Um, but yeah, as I kind of went into high school, I was doing water polo for a while. Most of my friends were kind of the math team nerd type. We will always be competing on test scores and standardized testing, that kind of thing. And I've never really been great at school. I'm not great at focusing. I think in elementary school, I would always be reading books. So at the end of every single week, my mom would have to come to the school and pick up all the confiscated books from my teachers. It'd usually be like a stack of like 15 books. And
okay.
so I was not really into listening to the teachers, and I was much more into just like learning things on my own, figuring things out on my own. Um, yeah, and then in high school for junior year, I joined this organization called Academic Decathlon. Academic Decathlon is essentially this 10 subject academic competition. You basically compete on testing and like memorizing knowledge and solving problems in short time spans. And my high school team was very good at this. So we got uh, on average we were third in the country, third or fourth in the
Wow.
country,
Okay.
and we were 38 times state champions um,
All right. How do you
in
win
a row.
38 times? Like it's not every
It's
year, obviously.
it's every single year.
But how did you win 38 times in a
No,
row?
no, I didn't win. My high school
Oh, okay.
was
I was
30,
gonna say,
like the
bro,
state champion. Yeah,
the
that would have
math's
been
impossible. You
completely
said you're good at math. That's impossible.
right. Yeah, no, it was just that my school was very strong
I
at,
guess so.
at academic decathlon. So we were state champions 38 years running. Um, I joined the team, had a lot of fun with it. I've always been someone who's really enjoys being competitive. So like that's been the main time when I get to focus. So I did like chess team before as well. So really, really focused in on this. And then both of the years that I was on the team, we got second place at nationals. And then I personally got third and then second place at nationals.
Well,
And that was a super fun opportunity to just do put my all into learning something and see where that could take me. Um, and my senior year of high school, after I kind of got into colleges, I realized that I could actually use this because I'd already been helping a lot of people with getting into college, writing college essays, that kind of thing. So me and my friend, we got together and created like a college prep startup. Really just like a tutoring kind of business. So we would call people up that we knew and we're like, hey, we can help you write your essay, or we can help you with standardized testing, talk to parents, that kind of thing. And then uh, we charge around $50 an hour, which is a lot below market rate. But being a senior in high school, that was a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
So we were very happy about that. So we ran that for around I don't know, about half a year or so. And then I'm now at Babson, got to Babson, wanted to do a lot of startup work, but I really wasn't sure how, because I didn't even know what a startup was until coming to Babson. It's a very entrepreneurial school.
Very.
And up until that point, I was just always very sure that I didn't want to go into corporate work, but not really sure how I would actually go about doing that. Because, you need to have a livelihood, you need to make money, you need to be able to support your family, that kind of thing. So just, you know, just confident in the fact that I didn't want to go into corporate, but had no idea how to solve it.
Yeah.
So came here and then realized I wanted to do entrepreneurship. And then at this point, I'd been doing game development and coding for around 2 to 3 years already. And I started doing a lot of freelance work for web development. I started doing a lot of custom software work and then joined 3 different startups in my first year here as a software engineer. And so, like, really doubled down on my tech capabilities more than anything else. And
So
that was, yeah,
let's talk about your idea, the Archangel.
yeah,
Tell us about that one.
yeah. So Archangel is a service for founders and independent inventors to file patents and trademarks at a lower cost than what usually exists. Um, the idea kind of came from my co-founder. He is one of the youngest patent holders in the state of New Jersey. And so when he was 14, he paid, you know, 13 grand for a patent and took out
Wow.
a crazy loan from his parents and then used all of his allowance on this. And he tried to start a business off of it. And essentially, what we're trying to do is make it so someone who's in his position would be able to start their business much easier than he was, because patents shouldn't be a roadblock to innovation. It should be something that assists you, right?
Makes
So,
sense.
our thesis is to help everyone access intellectual property protection.
So now how are you helping them do this that's different than other options out there?
Yeah, so traditional lawyers cost a huge amount and they also take a lot of time to file. I think on average, it's around 2 to 3 months to actually get your patent filed. You have to go back and forth with a lawyer constantly. And then in addition to that, market rate for an IP lawyer is somewhere around $500 an hour. And so when you want to file your patent, you come to them, they'll quote you in billable hours most of the time, or sometimes they'll tell you they straight up don't know how many hours that it'll take. And so it's very hard for a startup or an independent inventor to actually budget to pay for a lawyer. And usually it ends up being somewhere around $15,000 to $50,000 per patent. And for trademarks, it's somewhere around $3,000. And so these prices are far too high for most independent inventors and startups to pay. And so by automating around 80% of the like billable hour time that lawyers have to go through, we basically automate 80% of the work, give it to our lawyer. Our lawyer will file it on their behalf. And that allows us to spend a lot less money on filing patents, which allows us to charge significantly less.
Awesome. So what's the best way for people to reach out to if they want to learn more about the idea or need help getting a patent?
Yeah, so we have a meeting link that's open to anyone on our website at Arcangel.ai. If anyone wants to learn more, then please visit that website. We're we're happy to help you with your patent or trademark.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.